You're listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the M.T.V.B. podcast, the podcast that talks about my four favourite subjects, and that's movies, TV shows, video games and board games. I'm your host Anthony, as well as most people know me as the Ant-Man, and welcome. This episode is going to be talking about our top 5 indie games of all time, and I'm joined by a bunch of guys that love to talk about video games. Guys, introduce yourselves around the table, please.
Hi guys, it's Gal, aka Grey Fox.
Hey guys, it's Gokul, back again.
Back again, guys. Thank you for coming back and being on another episode.
It's like we never left.
Exactly. Indie games. Top 5 indie games. Have you guys got your top 5s ready for this?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah? Is this going to be a tough one? Are we going to clash?
Me personally, I think I'm alright.
Really?
I'm alright this round.
I'd be very surprised if we...
Would you be willing to put a bet on that one, sir?
What do you want to bet?
Well, if you clash with me, and I take your PS5.
Oh,
no, I'm joking. Well, what I want that piece of shit. Anyway, welcome, folks. Welcome. So, top 5 indie games. You know the rules. We'll do a couple of questions, and then we'll go into our top 5s. So, we'll start with the questions, and it's not going to be what is your first indie game. Indie games.
Great.
Can you guys explain what an indie game is?
Oh,
fantastic. You want to start, Gal? Go on, Gal.
indie games for me is probably I like to think of them as the up and coming new ones, new sort of companies, like, you know, they're trying to establish themselves. Yeah, that's what I
without being published by a big company. Yeah.
That's what I think of them, and that's what I consider, because when I'm on the Switch, there's loads of them being, you know, produced on the Switch, and literally some of them are like probably low budget, and one or two will only, like, you know, get picked, but sure. Low budget, up and coming, new boys of the, you know,
new kids on the block.
Yeah, kind of that's what I like to think.
Yeah. So for me, like, an indie game, it's what it is. It's a bit like, you know, the indie movies. It's like Gal said, you know, companies that are coming out, it's, you know, that don't have the power, the backing, and also the finance that the big boys have, such as EA, Activision.
Sometimes it's one bloke doing the whole game.
Absolutely right, exactly. And these are, you know, and the beauty of these indie games is that people think, okay, it doesn't have, you know, the glitz and the glamour of these big blockbuster AAA games that come out, but yet it's so fantastic, and you find some of the most amazing, like, touching stories, you know, that are made in some of these games, or games that move you, or they're innovative. Like, there's something that they'll show, and everyone in the AAA world are like, oh my god, they'll look down on them and be like, how did they do that? You know, and you'd find a lot of them
they'll be like applauding them as well.
Exactly.
That's when you're like, oh, well, that's a good.
How's a simple 3-hour game touch so many people on another level?
Or how's this one guy done this? You know?
Yeah, exactly. That's that's what it is, isn't it? It's kind of like a game that's not a blockbuster, you know, limited finance, and just limited everything, even people power, and just a lot more stress, I guess, like, compared to, like, other people, and they still have. I
like to see them as, you know, they're struggling to, you know, get it out, you know. Like,
exactly, like, they haven't found a big publisher to buy it, so they're like, okay, let's just do it ourselves, you know, let's just try and kickstart this, or somehow just get a loan out from the bank and just make this happen, and, you know, just hope that, you know, we can make this vision come alive and stuff. And thankfully a lot of them have done it, and so happy that they have, because, you know, That's why we're doing this episode, right?
This is it, exactly. Yeah,
We got an episode out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. What about you?
But it's video games, isn't it? No, it's exactly what you guys have said. It's literally ones that have, a small company has made without the help of any big company. But in the end, sometimes has had a big company to release it, like something like do you remember when Super Meat Boy was made?
Yes.
So it was made independently, made by two guys, I believe it was. And then Xbox nabbed it and picked it up and was like, we're releasing this because it was pretty freaking cool. It was like, that's what an indie game is essentially, isn't it, really?
It is,
But there are so many where I just prefer them sometimes.
Yep.
It's like, when we go into the top fives, you'll understand why, especially my number 3. It's like, it's probably the one that got me into my...
I just realised one. Damn it. I know what you're going to say.
It's probably got me back into indie games because, like Gal says, he had his Switch where he's got himself into the indie stuff.
Yep.
Whereas I had it through the Xbox, but never really, the small games. Why do I want to pay £25 for a game that's only 3 hours long, sort of thing. But anyway, we'll go into that later on anyway. But what is it about them that you guys like?
About indie games?
Yeah.
For me, it's... I think it's just... This is going to sound really poetic here, but it's just seeing the passion oozing in that game. So you're playing the game, and at the end of it, you're like, wow, these guys, with the limits that they have produced something that's so fucking amazing that, again, it touches on your emotions. You're having fun playing it, and you just see the level of artwork that go into it. Because, guys, see, even some of these games from an artistic point of view, you're just seeing some amazing talent, like people who are literally drawing... side scrollers and stuff like that. You're just seeing this raw talent come out, and they're just showing to the world, listen, this is what we could do. You know
what I really like see from indie games is it's a gamer doing what a gamer, like, say if I make a game, this is how it's going to be.
Exactly.
There's no one else saying, oh, you know what, do this and do this so we can get a bit more money. It's none of that. It's a raw game, and that's what you're getting, and it's so rewarding as well. And like it's so just like I can't explain it. Like if you think about some of the major games that come out, and you sometimes you talk about, oh man, why did they do this? And oh, they shouldn't have done that. Or it's because and then when you talk about it with Among Us stuff, it's probably because it's a big CEO decision to do this because. So they can do this and that.
Yeah, you can tell like if it's been altered or changed because someone big's got behind it or something.
We've been disappointed with the AAA games. We're like even annoyed about. Whereas the indie games, you don't have none of that.
You don't have
it's just raw and that's it. This is our game.
It's like their actual vision, isn't it?
Yeah. This is it. And they haven't been influenced or swayed by money or anything like that.
Nothing.
And they can't. I don't think. Well, they can because they probably do need it. But at the end of the day, they want to get their talents out. They're not going to. They're going to go full on and do what. Think is right for their game, isn't it?
So true. Yeah, building on that, guy, it's exactly what you said. About them literally not being swayed by saying, okay, you know what, because we're EA or whoever, you need to put this in. You need to throw in a microtransaction or something like that.
Yeah.
These guys are like, okay, we've got this vision. We're just going to throw this vision out, and people are going to live that vision, and in its rawest form, and sometimes it's the most truest form as well. And that's that sense of appreciation,
and you don't. I don't think with the indie games, I have never turned around and go, oh man, I wish they'd done this or they should have done. No, there's none of that. It's just like, okay, this is their game and it's that's it. Nothing, been altered. Well, I've never unless this is like a really crap game,
right.
But I've selected indie games and they've actually been really like rewarding and really fun to play. And then I never had an issue saying, oh, why have they done that? Why did they take this aspect down?
That's right.
Changed it.
Exactly. It's like there's no pressure on it. Yeah. You play a AAA game, sometimes it's a follow up to a previous game, or it's built on the mechanics of a previous game, and you're like, oh, why do they do that? Why do they take this out? But because a lot of indie games, you're playing it for the first time, you're experiencing that kind of gameplay or something for the first time, so it's good regardless.
Yeah, totally.
It's going to be really good, right? So yeah, it's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's unique because they're more fearless to trying it, whereas the bigger companies will be worried.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Even though they probably do, and they'll probably get backlash.
Yeah.
But I think with the indie games, they're like got the license to go in and do something completely different.
Completely different, exactly. Because
they don't have the pressure. I think.
That's it. They don't have the pressure, or they like, for example,
the fuck is gonna dump the pressure?
Sorry,
don't.
You know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Sorry, going off top here.
That's
it, isn't it? It's like it's exactly like you said. There's no pressure, and they kind of just do what they want to do. They don't listen. I mean, it's not that they don't listen to it, but you find out a lot of people, like a lot of the big guys, are listening to their community and saying, "Oh, this is what we need to put in." But these guys are like, "This is how we want it. We just want to go out and do it."
There's some games where you think, "Oh man, I wish these indie guys really had." Because then I'm going back on my words. I wish they had the money to, actually do a big. But then I go.
But then there is a studio that has done that because someone has acquired them and is now getting to do their vision.
Oh, really?
Fourfold now
on a bigger scale.
It's not in my top 5, but it might be in yours. That's why I don't want to mention it. But if it comes back, I'll mention it later.
Thing is, there's already one I've it's gone over my head, and I just remembered one, but it doesn't matter.
Gone over. You literally just seen my answers, and you go,
no, I didn't. My one is pretty unique, I think.
Yeah.
And I've just overlooked one or two. That's what's happened.
So, there is one thing I am annoyed with recent indie games. It might not be as much as you guys, but a lot of them now are doing the same style as games, which is literally like the retro 16-bit looking game.
And the gameplay as well, like Metrovania or Roguelike.
Which, okay, it's not broken, don't fix it, but don't you think it's getting a bit repetitive now?
Yep.
That, all the studios doing the same in that one now. It's like,
exactly.
come up with something new.
Yeah, a good example, like for example, the Game Pass, which is actually
one of the greatest inventions ever.
It really is. Honestly, and I'm totally agreeing with you on that, because for me, it's like the way that I get introduced to a lot of these indie games, because
without paying
for, yeah. And I kind of realize why, because a lot of these companies, they look at their pre-sales and they're finding out, okay, it's 2 weeks before release and looks like no one's buying our game. We'll just release it on the Game Pass. We'll get a bit of money and we'll get a bit of exposure. And in that way, maybe people would want to hear about it and buy it on the other consoles and stuff. So
it's a good marketing technique, to be honest.
Exactly. But then you find a game, and a lot of the games on the Game Pass, like you were saying, Anne, like you look at the cover and you're like, okay, what's this about? And you click on it and you see the screenshots and it all the same 64-bit side scrolling, and it's like, it's been done. Like, it doesn't excite me anymore, And it seems like it's like a copy of another game, but just done in their way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So,
but then there's ways of because there's one on my list, and I think it came at a time when I was getting into that genre.
Yeah.
But there was plenty of others. But the way this one did it was just like, wow,
different,
this is amazing.
Yeah.
So I think...
Yeah, we're going to clash.
No, I think I know what...
PS5's as good as mine.
Hey, we don't shake on it.
No. So, it's when we get the E3s that come up, or the other, other conventions that announce new indie games, whatnot. Like, I think every summer Xbox does a big thing called Indie Summer, Indie Summer, something like that.
That's been.
Yeah, and every time a new one's announced, it's the same graphics. I mean, I think there's one at E3 that looked good. I think it's called Replaced. But again, the graphics are just the same as every other one that's come out now, and I'm just like, I don't want... Nothing against indie games, but I don't want every indie game to have the same look. I think there's one coming out soon called 12 Minutes.
Yes.
And that looks phenomenal. That looks like something that's a game changer for indie games.
Can't wait.
And I think that's out next month, but it just it bugs me how they're all sort of still looking the same, whereas this one has stood out more because it is graphically different and the idea is different.
But I think that's where the beauty is, don't you think? Where there are other titles where some indie companies will come out. Okay, come on, let's see what we can do. What something you just said, something unique, and something like 13. Come on, let's admit, when we all saw it, oh my god, this looks nuts.
Yeah,
we don't know nothing. All we know is 30 minutes, and this guy dies every time after 30 minutes. That's all we know. That's been out since 2 years, and we're still waiting for it.
This is one of the top-down views, isn't it? The house,
So, I think that in a way, I know what you're trying to say. I know, there's the same type of thing, but it kind of gives the companies a chance to, well, come on, let's look at it. Let's see how different we can go. Because in a way, it's good and bad at the same time. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
I totally understand.
So they're like, You got a lot of competition, so that's going to force companies to go in a different way, like innovative. Like, let's see what different things we can do. You know, I think replaces the one. Is that pixelated one that came up 2-3 years ago? Do you remember? Is it that same one? And it's just completely gone. Or is it that one? That pixel. It was a very.
The last stage you talk about.
Is that the last stage?
The last days.
Last days, yes.
Yeah.
That's what's happened with that.
I think Replaced has taken it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hence the name Replaced.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hence the name Replaced.
Okay.
But I think there's literally one in my honorable mentions. So when I go in my honorable mentions later, a majority of them is that style you were talking about, the Metroidvania,
Roguelike.
16-bit roguelike thing.
Yeah.
I think there's literally one in here that is, maybe two that are different to it. So, I support indie games as much as anyone else does. I mean, there are a few that are different, but let's just hope the future of them isn't this, same old 16-bit era. If I want to play a 16-bit game, I'll go on my frigging, Stranger Things arcade and put on a 16-bit game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. I think you've got three kind of same-ish.
Yeah.
And one solid, like what you're saying, is roguelike, but...
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. A different story, a different take, a different mechanic, just a different everything.
Well, there's one I want to mention, but I think it's in your list, so I won't mention it, which stood out for me because, again, it was different to it. Begins with an F?
Oh.
Yeah, okay, so I won't say it.
Yeah, no. But you can
okay, so I won't say it, but we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
So next question. Are indie games that you play because they've been recommended to you?
Yep.
Or, purposely you just like indie games and just, like you mentioned with the Game Passes, giving you an opportunity.
Sure.
But do you play them? A majority I play is because they have been out years and people recommended it. That's how I got back into them.
Yeah.
So
for me, it's a bit of both. Like it's especially this looks like a plugin for the Switch, but especially when the Switch came out, there's from day one it's just been like every week it's been releasing indie games, and occasionally I'll be like, okay, let me have a look and see what one I think. There's one or two I've picked out, and some of them are really outstanding, and some that's been rubbish.
Okay.
But then I don't I get annoyed when I spend money and it's like, it's literally not all that sort of thing. But then I tend to wait until someone like Ant or someone, on the YouTube are waiting to, look, these are really good, indie games, check them out sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I do kind of experiment, and at the same time I do trying to get recommendations.
Yeah. I mean, the Switch is a good platform, isn't it, for indie games, right? And something, again, you can take around you and play with you and stuff.
And the best thing is like, I think you might have a question about it. It's cheap as well.
Yeah.
There's not like some of them are £7, £12, £12.
Yeah.
Like even the decent ones don't even go over like £30, like at least.
100%. Yep. Yeah. For me, and it's same. Like with Gao, it's a mix. Some of them are recommendations from other people, like the occasional one. A lot of them, I do a thing now because I love indies to the sense that sometimes I just go on the store, whether it's the Xbox store or the PlayStation store, and I just look for these indies, especially when there's a sale going on, and I add them to my watch list and just watch the prices. And it comes to a point when it's just, it's ridiculous, you just buy it or whatever. But with, again, going back to this Game Pass, the great thing about it is that it just happens to churn out these indies that are just there, and you're ultimately, I know you're paying for it on an annual basis, but at the same time you're given this game that you want to play. For example, there's sometimes where I feel like I just want to play, like I have a morning free or something, and I'm not doing anything, especially during lockdown. Like, where else could you go? And you'd sit at home and you're like, I want to play a game for 4 hours, so I'll go on Google and I'll type in games that I can bang out in 4 hours, and a lot of them were indie games, and some of them
that's a good point as well.
Yeah, right. Because
indie games or any Call of Duty campaign.
Yeah, right. Indie game / Call of Duty campaign.
So carry.
Yeah. So that on my list, there's a few which you pretty much
Call of Duty
finish. Like Modern Warfare 2, no Russian. Like,
I think I don't think there's many on mine that last more than 3 or 4 hours on my list, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh no, tell a lie. My number one's the longest out of all of them. So.
Okay, yeah, because some which are actual proper
depends,
long games, right? Like
some of them are right, some of them are fairly short.
Yeah.
Depends how you play them, and then,
exactly. Yeah, how you play it and how much time you have to play it and stuff like that.
But going back to what you were saying about trying to get it done in 4 hours or so.
Yeah.
For indie games, do you think you've got to be in a certain mood to play them at all?
Yeah.
I always felt like it's when you don't have any AAA titles on your big boys consoles, then you start looking for that weird sort of, or in between like two major games. Say if you've just completed Witcher 3 or something massive, use the indie game to like break it up and then go into another big game.
To kind of just slip in between that and another AAA game.
For me, especially when I've completed all my AAA games and I'm waiting for another one that's going to come out end of the month or next week. That's when I go into the indie games.
Yeah.
Rarely I'll be like, if I'm playing something like mainstream right now, I won't touch indie games at the moment.
Sure. It's like
that's me. Well,
yeah.
Don't know about you guys.
It's a good question, Anne, because a lot of the time I think about the mood of the game. Like, for example, there's a lot of moody games which are indie games.
Sure.
A lot. Like, some of them you're like, how is this theme even being talked about? Like, what kind of kid or a guy who wants to, guy or girl who wants to have fun.
Crap, I just remembered another one. Damn it.
Change your list, dude.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna stick with mine.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's moody, like, but at the same time, it's good that it's an indie game, because it's done pretty quickly. You're kind of like riding an emotion. If you're feeling kind of sad, there's certain indie games you play and you kind of connect with the characters on there because you know what they're going through and stuff. Or it's weird. I don't know. It's just, but sometimes it's really good to even discover that emotion if you've never been through that. And these games kind of show it. So yeah, it's weird. But you're right about being in a good mood because you don't want to be all like happy and the sun is shining and play like a really depressing kind of game. But you've got to be in the mood to play. You've got to kind of,
sure. Unless you really subscribe them some depression
antidepressants.
Is that what you actually had to do?
Is that because he's a pharmacist? It's like, have some antidepressants and play this fucking depressing game. Test your depression.
Just in case, yeah.
Do you remember that time when John was on depression tablets?
Oh, mate.
No, I'm joking.
No.
So have you recommended any indie games to your friends that you didn't get the best reaction out of it from them? Like you thought they would have liked it, but maybe...
There was, okay, I hate to say it. Gal, there's one you mentioned, Cuphead, right? And I loved it, the art style of it, but I think it was just too difficult.
Yeah, I think it puts off a lot of people difficult wise.
Yeah, but it's such a beautiful game. Like, I wish I was good at games to play it, but that's probably only...
And the thing is, though, you can't exactly get two people on it because it makes it even harder when you put two people on it.
Exactly, yes, yeah. Well, adds to the difficulty, doesn't it, kind of thing? Yeah.
Well, there's, for me... Have I recommended any to you guys? I'm trying to think. And
was it any that we've recommended to you?
I mean, there's people recommended me games.
Let's say not necessarily the three of us here. It could be like anyone.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. No, I can't.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll do something different, okay?
Yeah.
So instead of honourable mentions at the end, do honourable recommendations.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, without spoilers.
No, at the end. Listen. Listen.
Oh, sorry.
You got headphones on. Listen. At the end, after the top five,
okay.
we would do honourable recommendations. Okay.
Okay.
Instead of honourable mentions.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll do the top five. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go.
It's time for a top five.
Well, I'm not going first this time. So who's going to go first?
I'm going first.
Hang on.
All right.
So which way are we going to go around after that?
Whichever way you want.
Yeah, we can go this way.
Are you to me or me to you? Okay. Yep. Yeah. All right. So let's do number five then.
Let's do it.
Number 5.
Okay. This one has already been spoiled already. And my number 5 is actually Cuphead.
Cuphead.
That's my number 2.
How's it?
Yep.
Is that the one you said that was actually got quite popular? You mentioned one was in your list that was actually an indie game and they went really, really popular.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Okay. I remember this game when it came out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, this looks sick. And at the time, I was just like, oh man, this is going to be such a...
Sorry, did we clash?
Yes, we did.
Our first clash of
I didn't think we would
the day.
have this. But,
Sorry, go Cuphead.
and I remember the art style, and I was like, this is nuts. It was like very like 60s or
1930s. Yeah, cartoons.
And it's just like, and not just that, the soundtrack with the music with it was amazing. Beautiful. But my God, what fucking hard! How hard is that game?
It's probably one of the hardest games I've ever played.
Yeah, I've never actually finished it, but again, it's my number 2 because it literally was a game that no one knew about. And it was, when it first got mentioned, it was literally under 60 seconds trailer at E3, 4 years before the game even came out.
Yeah.
Wow. It was done by a company called Studio MDHR that Xbox had caught an eye of what they were producing, and it just brought them straight out. And like, my God, this game is incredible. It's going to be big and whatnot. And every year I was just waiting and waiting. Like the next year, Cuphead never even got mentioned. So I was thinking, oh shit, it's going to be out of, they're not going to do this now. They're not going to bring it out. And then obviously it got mentioned the year after and whatnot and started coming out. And it just got better and better. And it reminds me of those very old, very early Popeye cartoons that came out years and years ago.
Like even Mickey Mouse doing it.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Very early Disney stuff as well. And the music, just like you said, goes so well with it. They produced all that music by themselves. None of it's copied from any other show or cartoon that they've taken it from.
When you listen to it, you still think of that era.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Amazing, man.
You feel like you're watching a cartoon, let alone playing
But
it.
like you said, what a son of a bitch of a game. It is so hard. Especially the bosses, when you got to do 3 things at once and dodge and shoot at the same time.
But the level design, some of the levels are insane.
They're incredible.
Amazing, I'll have to say.
It's
artistically.
Isn't it true? Didn't they actually hand draw the whole lot?
I don't know for certain.
That's why it took so long.
That's right.
And you know what I love about it? The graininess. It even has the graininess of that's so wicked.
Genius, isn't it?
Yeah. They could easily went, no, let's just do it high def. But no, let's put the graininess.
What's the blue guy called? Cuphead and
Teacup.
Mughead.
I can't remember this. But yeah, I had to put that on my list. And
welcome, Cuphead.
the demons in that are
if you
freaky,
can only
man.
see how his dance right now, that's so
He's
cool.
dancing just like Cuphead.
It's a genius game.
I'm not a big fan of Final Pops, but I want Final Pops of Cuphead and Mugman.
Oh,
big time! Yeah, I'd love to have those.
Yeah.
They'd be so cool together, like as a bookend or something. Would be so cool.
Have they not done that?
Yeah,
right.
So cool.
That's genius. Yeah. That's
sorry, I took your spot from you. Why is it your number 5?
Yeah, I gotta say it's probably. I want to say my first sort of indie game, but I don't think so. There's been plenty of others, but it's ones that actually stood out. Like when I said earlier, I would say it's like a roguelike. Not roguelike. It's not a roguelike, no. It's more of a platformer, isn't it?
It's a
side-scroller.
Side-scroll shooter.
Yeah. But again, it's there's been loads of that type of games, but look how different they had to think out the box, actually to go, let's make it look like a cartoon back in the day, and then put all that time and effort, hand draw everything.
That's the thing.
Not as well as that, the soundtrack as well.
Yeah.
And then to make it insanely hard as well. Just unique.
How do you do that?
And it's just, when you think of a size, that's going to pop up in your head now.
It's the Demon Souls of shooters.
Yeah, I would say,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you do the sound he makes when he shoots?
Do it
again.
It's like a weird soft sort of pop.
Yeah. It's not like a heavy sound, is it? It's like, a bubble.
What the hell are they shooting anyway?
Just shooting.
What are they shooting though?
No idea.
It's not a banana, is it? No.
No. It's like
they've got their fingers like that.
That's it. Yeah.
So good choice. Yeah. Your number 5, my number 2. What's your number 5?
Right. So my number 5 is a game.
God damn it! No,
it's a game. Oh my god! It's made by this company called House. It's a game I'm sure you guys have heard of because they've rated this as one of the best indie games. It's called Untitled Goose Game.
Oh
yeah, my daughter loves that game.
Oh my goodness! Okay,
and you literally forgot about this. If I didn't mention it,
I have to say, God.
Yeah, my daughter friggin' loves that game.
Absolutely, because
it's a genius game, dude.
Such a genius game. For guys who don't know, you control a goose, you go around an English village, and you cause havoc.
Nicking hats.
That goose
stealing
got
the little boy's glasses.
Yeah. That goose is a bastard.
He is an absolute bastard.
And all this just to get a golden bell.
Just to get a golden... Right, that's all it is. And what an absolute genius game. Again, I'm so happy. This was coming towards Christmas, and they released it on the Game Pass. And I was like, I'm so happy that this game finally just, is available to so many people to play. Artistically amazing.
It's got that cel-shaded design, isn't it?
Like a slight, like a almost bird's eye, slightly cel-shaded kind of like, graphic look to it. So the objective of the game is that the different region, there's different parts of this, like, kind of like almost like a model English village, right, that you go to. And in order to get to the next area, you've got to do certain tasks. So you have a list of things that have been handwritten on a note that you've got to knock off. So one of them is like steal the farmer's spade, or like, like knock over the little kid, or something like stupid like that.
Make sure the guy misses his darts.
Yeah,
and stuff like that,
and you think, how stupid is this? But when you play it, and it's so
genius.
I think when we played it, get the farmer to wear his hat. And
right.
Yeah, and actually quite hard because you have to get him.
You have to put it in a certain spot.
Yeah,
to put it back.
And you got to squirt the water at his head.
Right.
And then, oh mate, it's quite. It's genius.
So fun. And they added the co-op mode to it a few weeks after because they've
done the 2-player now, haven't they? Yeah.
And that is
shit. I want to play that now.
Yeah, I know, it's so good. If it's on, I think it's probably still on the Game.
Oh mate, I remember
right?
there's a part towards the end. I think it's the final stage before the bell.
Yes.
And you have to sneak into a pub.
Yeah.
And me and my daughter were like, how do we do this? Because we keep getting caught. And it's like, you have to hide in the box. And then she picks up the box and takes it into the pub and whatnot.
That's right.
It's just, my goodness. It's like,
there's like a delivery.
It's like, I'm like, why am I playing this? But I can't help but play this.
Yeah.
It's like,
thank you. Because a part of me is like, this is
satisfying. Some sort of satisfaction you get.
100%. I was like, oh my God.
And that game isn't like, is less than 3 hours long or something like that. It's,
it's literally
absolutely nothing.
I might play this tonight.
It's so good.
It's such a joy to play that game.
Absolutely. See, it's a game all ages. Somehow they found a connection at that. It's almost like a Pixar kind of like moment.
I wonder if they're going to do another one.
Oh, they have to. They just have to. No, they have to. I'm sorry. Otherwise, I'm going to send them an email and be like, bastards. We need a second
bastard.
game.
We need another bastard goose game now. Hurry up.
Yeah, but that's my game. Yeah, Untitled Goose Game. Everyone,
thanks to me, you had that choice.
Thank you, Gal. Yeah, Warration Glory.
So did you recommend it to him?
No, he actually showed it to me, but he's forgotten about it. I was like, I bet you got this in yours, and he's like, I don't actually. Shit, I'm going to quickly add it in.
And that is definitely on my list.
What did you get rid of on your list?
Good question. I forgot now. It's gone. It'll be an honourable mention. Yeah.
An honourable recommendation.
So it's recommendation now.
Honourable recommendation.
Yeah. Thank you.
So is that going forward or just for today?
That's just for today.
Oh,
yeah, just today.
We'll change the episode.
He was like,
we'll change the episode up a little bit, just this episode. Right, so my number 5. My number 5 is a game that I introduced to Gal on our old gaming days. This is the gaming days when we used to actually play video games on our gaming days. And it is a multiplayer side-scrolling shooter game called Guns, Gore and Cannoli.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh wow. Yeah.
What do you think I was going to pick?
No, something else. Someone listened.
I know what it is because it's on mine as well.
Oh, shut up.
Yep.
That's the Matthew
because it was a game I introduced to him. Guns, Gore and Cannoli. It is a fantastic game. It's basically set in the 1930s. You play like a 1930s Chicago gangster.
Nice.
And it practically, like I said, what was it? It's what would you say? Is it comic book or cartoon sort of style game?
I'll say cartoony sort of style.
Very cartoony style. Where you go around as mobs to shoot around zombies and... Sorry?
Was it definitely hand-drawn? It was.
Yeah, it's got to be, shooting zombies, gangsters, like Nazis as well. It's it's so much fun. It's ridiculous. Notice even the part when you go into sewers, you shoot the giant rats and stuff like that as well.
Wow.
It's so much fun and so beautifully done. It's like, it's quite violent for a comic, cartoony looking thing. It is aimed at like older teens and adult sort of thing. But adults, it's like one of the best side scroller multiplayers I've played in a long time. Okay. It's like
we had so much fun.
Yeah, and I think we even finished the game.
It was 4-player, wasn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, it's 4 players.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's just simply go around shooting things, and that's all it is. But it's weird how it's addictive.
Yeah.
And how like every level is different. Like I said, you have different themes and how you progress with it, and some of the bosses are really good in it as well.
Right.
But yeah, it was a game that I discovered. There's a channel I watch called Cinemassacre, and they were doing like a play run for it, and it'd been out for a couple of years. And I'm like, I never even heard of this game. How did this even go under the radar? Because it was an indie game, and indie games weren't that big at the time.
Yeah.
And literally within, what was it, months later, number 2 come out. Guns, Gore and Cannoli 2 came out.
There's 2.
Which I don't think is as good as the first one. That's why the first one's in there.
The controls were a bit different, you said.
The controls are wank in number 2. Absolute wank. It's like, I don't even know why they did that, to be honest.
Maybe it's like what I said. Maybe they got the money and they're like, oh, well, let's try it.
No, they shouldn't have done that. I mean, it does take some getting used to. I did end up having it on my Switch and finishing it, but it's just it was a
not like the first.
Yeah, it was something they didn't have to do.
Yeah.
And it was whatever.
It was.
They got drunk with power with the second one.
I know it's been around, but I remember when Ant mentioned, "Oh man, you need to play this," and we did, and we literally completed in a day.
Wow,
it's so much fun. Even little Nash loved it.
Seriously?
When's the next one coming out? I can't wait.
Oh, because it was gangster, right?
Yeah, I mean, Goku, if you ever get a chance, it's like a $5 on Switch or whatever.
Seriously.
Just get it, man. It's a lot of fun. And I highly recommend it.
Both of you recommending it, then definitely
good
fun. But I think it's more fun with more players, to be honest.
Right, the more
it's more with 4. Best with 4. Cool. Definitely best with 4.
Okay,
let's get number 4.
Ooh.
Hang on. Yes, we're number 4.
Number 4.
Helps if I put the right volume up. So Big G, number 4.
My number 4 is...
It's going to be the same as me.
No.
Here we go.
No. So this one is actually it came at a time where I loved a specific game that was on the Game Boy. It was Advance Wars. But that's not the game.
Okay.
I think they stopped after Advance Wars 2. And those that people know, Advance Wars is basically like a cartoony sort of tactical game where you control a commander and he has his army, and then each unit has its particular powers, and so tank has so and so, and depending on what sort of terrain you are in, you get a power up, and you essentially go around the map levels and defeating other areas, and you unlock new commanders that you control. Amazing game.
Amazing. It's a real-time strategy, isn't it? It's that kind of thing.
Exactly what it is. And I think Advance was 1 I loved, and then 2. Yeah. They're doing a remake now, as you know, that's coming up.
That's been announced.
But this came out, the one game I'm talking about now came out about 3-4 years ago.
Oh,
and
recent.
It's called Wargrove. And
I've never heard of it.
Oh, yeah. It's essentially Advance Wars, but a bit old school, more like horse and whatnots.
Okay,
old school version of it, but it filled in the void of Advance Wars for me, because I was desperate. I need another Advance Wars type of game. Which there's an honorable mention, but boy, that game was fucking hard.
Serious?
Yeah, but this one was actually quite good. It's hard in a way, but it's rewarding at the same time. And it's exactly what I said. Real time strategy. Yeah. You control commanders and they control different sort of units. A bit like Fire Emblem, but I think Fire Emblems is more mainstream and more bigger. But this is actually the cartoony, similar styles as the Advance was on the GBA and stuff.
The same sort of camera angle,
camera angle,
halfway between.
I would say probably even this exact sort of graphic style. And it's so good. If you like this stuff, I love this stuff. So whoever's listening, if you like this stuff, check out Wargroove. Really good.
Amazing. Is it based on a real life kind of scenario?
No, I said, it's more I would try. I want to say
medieval.
Medievally
kind of like that,
but it's not. But it's very colourful, so vibrant. Art style. I like those kind of styles. So
of course,
very sort of Nintendo-esque. I think it's on the Xbox Pass as well. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. I remember seeing it. I don't know if they're taking it down. Maybe you can actually buy it on the Xbox, but definitely on the Switch. I own it on the Switch. So
let's just dedicate this episode to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, it's better than the Xbox.
get some sort of profit out of them for advertising them or something.
Exactly.
No, I'm just trying to say what.
No, fine, man. I've never heard of that, and I don't think I'll ever play it.
Exactly.
No, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. It's my sort of place also.
No, it's just nice to have one that I've never heard of, or we've never heard of.
If you like those real times, check it out. It's actually really good. I'm not gonna
check it out. I love Advance Wars. You're right. It fills the void because a lot of people are what happened to this kind of game?
Just disappeared, didn't it? And now they're making a remake.
Oh my god, it's about time, boys.
How big's your dick game right now?
Oh, mate, when I saw that, my dick exploded.
so much cheese everywhere.
I think I heard it, and I live in Tooting.
When you're looting and you're shooting. So Goku, what's your number 4?
Right, my number 4. Don't know if you guys have heard about this. It's still on the Game Pass because I checked it.
Literally.
It's a game called What Happens to Edith Finch.
I've heard of this.
Yes, you played that. You loved that.
Absolutely.
Is it
I
really
recommended
good?
it to him. You know why it's really good? So it takes place in a house, and all it is, there's only 3 buttons apart from the. Actually, there's only 2 buttons apart from the axis. It's jump and the start button. That's to bring up the menu. That's all it is, and that's all you need to do. It's basically a story, right? And it's the most casual game. You sit there and you just learn about this girl's story. So she's returning to this house, and it looks like a normal house, but somehow this house becomes even bigger. It's almost like you ever watch Dexter's Lab, right? And you think, how is such a small house got like this huge lab on the inside? It's kind of like that, but they've done it in a believable kind of way because you're looking at it from perspective, and it's a house that's by the seaside on top of a cliff, and you go in, and as you're going to every like part of the house, from the foyer to the living room, you're learning about the story of this one girl, why she's coming back, about her family, about her lineage, everything. And it's so nice. Like, they've got moments of it which is moody, they've got moments of it which is really, really like, you know, amazing, and it's ultimately just watching a movie. Like, again, game of runtime's about 2.5 hours, so it's like watching like a drama, you know, but it's basically like, you know, you playing this game, you're controlling the character, and the house itself. So it's not like a normal kind of house. So when you go into a room, that goes into a bigger kind of room, and the next thing, this house has got random shit. Like, it's got an observatory on the top where the granddad used to like stargaze and stuff, and then it has a giant tree house, and even the garden is giant, and it leads down to the beach, and there's like a bit of a shipwreck and stuff like that. There's so much going on in this little kind of space. But yeah,
why have they done that then? Is that on purpose?
I think, yeah, definitely. I think it's just, you know, the artistic kind of view on it and stuff. So it's just to tell the story, because I think they must have sat down and think, okay, how are we going to create a game where you walk through a house and tells a story? The game will be done in like 10 minutes because it's like just showing someone a house. But if you somehow make it a bit more interesting and throw in a few staircases and mezzanines and stuff like that and everything, you know, it kind of adds to the story. So every room like represents a part of her life, which is really, it's like a chapter of a life, but that chapter is a part of the house. And that's what makes it really, really interesting. The colors are amazing. I mean, when I was playing it on the Xbox, is it the Xbox, not the One X, the one before that, the really powerful one. I forget, there's so many.
Right. Xbox One X.
It is One X, isn't it?
Xbox One X.
Series X is the 5th gen. Oh my god.
Seriously, dude, you need to get with it.
God, I was going to say,
because you don't want one.
Exactly.
I'm just going to kick you out in a minute.
I was going to say, it's like,
I never say bad things.
There's a lot of X's.
Just
no, they've screwed themselves on that. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So imagine what that would look like, you know, I mean, it played excellently on the, you know, on the console that I had, but I can't imagine how great that would be on the new gen consoles. It's colors are vibrant, playing it on 60 FPS, beautiful. You don't even need that. You just play the game. You just go through every room. You learn about this story. It's as simple as that, and it's just incredible. It's a really, really good story. They should make it into a movie. The story's there.
See, like, really? I remember little G trying to recommend it to me, but
because I think I recommended it to him. I was like,
I didn't even like download it. I thought, again, going back to Ant's question, I think it's one of those ones you need to be in the mood for.
Yeah,
I think for me, I don't think I could.
Yeah, I mean, it's one it's been recommended so many on Xbox, many Xbox channels on YouTube, whatnot, which is how I knew of it. But I again know of it, but I have to be in that
mood to like, you know what, I want a story sort of game sort of type.
Definitely.
You know? So I think definitely a moody sort of game.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
But good choice.
It's a good game. Very good game. Sorry, I'd recommend it.
It's a good choice.
Good choice. Thank you.
So my number 4. Sorry, mate.
This is it's not.
This is for me. So this is a game that I found out was an exclusive with PlayStation. Obviously, not only one, I never knew anything about it. So a certain someone who I used to car share with told me about this, and this is probably the only good thing that ever came out of this guy. Anyway, this is a game called Broforce.
Oh my god!
Broforce is basically.
It's on my list as well.
What is it on your list?
Let me just double check. Sorry.
So basically, Broforce is a side-scrolling shooter again, where you get to play as number 2, where you get to play all your favorite characters from your action decades. So you can play as Arnie from Terminator, you can play as Arnie from Conan the Barbarian, you can play as Rambo, you can play as John McClane. You know, the list goes on. Neo, Blade, and Men in Black. It goes on and on.
Seriously?
Yeah, and they're tight. And it's basically, we're going back to what I was saying about the design of this game. So this design of the game is very 8-bit.
I'll say, yeah.
8-bit KES.
Yeah.
Right,
And they're
okay.
tiny, tiny little characters.
Okay,
Very, very tiny.
right.
Very minuscule. But the map is built out, and you have to jump on over bridges while they explode and everything like that at all.
Yeah.
And it's just a game that I never even knew anything about it. And you can have up to 4 players.
I'm sure it's
Wow.
4 players, yeah. I think
You can have up to 4 players on this.
Yeah.
Oh my
And could you imagine like all these guys shooting all these
Oh,
people
man, it's
down, these doing all these big bosses and explosions going off left, right, and centre?
Yeah, like an
whilst
action movie.
whilst you're actually playing like an action movie.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But this was done, I believe, way before all these other games that were doing the same type of graphics. Like there's
Okay.
always 8-bit, 16-bit sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I love it because it is just simply just like Guns Gone Cannoli.
Yeah.
It's
With your
shooting. It's
favourite.
fun with mates.
Yeah.
It's a great game as like a couch co-op. I think you can do it online as well, but it's good as a couch co-op
Yeah.
game. And playing as your favourite guys, you know. You can play as Ellen Ripley from Aliens as well.
She's
and,
badass in that.
and Time Cop
I think-
and Universal Soldier. They're all in there.
I think
James Bond's in there as well.
I think every time you die, you regenerate as
You regenerate as a new
random
hero.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun. I love it when, like, if you throw a grenade and you see the little guys, they're like, ah! They never talk, but they're like, you hear
can
them
hear the
scream or,
noises, yeah.
you know, their reaction when they see a grenade about to blow up sort of thing. It's just so much fun for a little indie game. And it goes on for quite a bit as well. It's a good 3-4 hour game or some sort. But you can go back and there's
Yeah.
so much replayability to it as well because you have
It's
to
hard
say,
as well, a little bit.
hard as balls, but
Yeah.
it is damn good.
So fun.
But the more hostages you save, the newer characters you open up and
Unlock them.
unlock
Okay.
even more heroes. The list goes on and on.
It is mental of a game, man.
I highly recommend it. I mean, why is your number 2, sir?
I think I just love like the fact that I get to play these little 2-bit characters and they're my favorite. And it's so tiny, but you can make out who's who. Like, oh, look, that's Arnie. That's
recognize.
Predator Arnie.
Yeah.
You can be Predator as well, don't you?
Yes, you can, man.
Predator, Men in Black. I think I just love that whole idea of getting to play with my favorite heroes as a pixelated character, and it's just so fun.
That's why I reacted.
It's like when
as soon
you
as
see
said it.
T2 Arnie,
Yeah.
you can tell it's T2 Arnie because half his face is a robot.
It's
But
so
like
detailed.
Big G says, it's the tiniest thing.
Details,
But you
yeah.
can tell that's John McClane because he's got a white vest on. So it's like you can tell that's Rambo because he's got the red bandana or whatever on, sort
So
of thing.
good.
And you think it's
Even the weapons that they start with. I mean, they.
Is it
I
like
think
Judge Dredd's in it as well.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Robocop's in it as well. There's so
Each-
many, dude.
each
That's why I freaked
each
out.
character comes with their own like unique weapon.
Okay. So
Like
you
if
More
you're
ability, isn't
the
it?
worst one is the Indiana Jones. Oh my god, he
has
just
the
has a
whip.
whip. Jesus
But
Christ,
he does have a gun. His special ability is a gun.
He's so rubbish. Like I said in
He's
real
good, man.
life,
He's
I'm
good.
going to save the world with the rip. But
He's
apart
good.
from that, Rip's
He's
good.
great.
He's not.
James
He's
Bond's
not.
the worst one. James Bond's the worst one in that one.
Dude.
I'm guessing he's
No,
Indiana
I'll tell you who's the worst one.
Such a shit character, man.
What's his
Indiana
name?
Jones.
What's that one that only shoots the bombs? MacGyver or something?
Oh, the guy with the
vest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that one's
can't
crap.
remember.
God.
But anyway, that's my number 4. That's your
That's
number.
number 2. Like Ant said, what he needs to. It's a cracking game. If you
Sounds
love your
amazing.
movies, this is a must-have. Like that's what I can say.
Yeah, you love your action movies. Totally
It's
recommend.
so much fun, and I say, like I completed it
Yeah.
playing it on my own, but if you have a group of friends, it's amazing. Like,
It's
co-op,
worth
is
playing.
Which isn't easy on your own.
It is no, it's not.
It's
No,
not.
The last boss is a bastard, man. It's
Yeah.
oh mate, I want to say the C word, but
Yeah.
I feel bad.
You can. They had the warning at the beginning.
I know, but I feel bad.
Yeah, because Gal, we can argue, 'cause, like, as we know, and Gal really plays these hard games. Like, compared to, like, a really hard
not-
game that you played, would you say?
Oh, to 1 to 10, I'll say like 6.
Okay.
It's doable.
Still, that's
It's
hard.
doable, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it is quite hard. Like
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
not like I'm gonna like a Mario type S game. But
Yeah.
The thing is, though, it starts off so easy,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you're like, this would be, you know,
And then it creeps up.
and then you're like, oh shit, this
It's
might
quite
be difficult.
and I think I said it in the soundtrack episode. This one's got a really
is
good
it got a
soundtrack.
good
Yeah,
soundtrack?
like,
Is it like an 8-bit
it's very like
kind of-
patriotic.
And the guy
Yeah.
who commentates it for all the time is just
Yeah.
so manly.
it's like
proper
it's like
80s
like when
action.
you die,
Yeah.
like he always goes no. But then it'd be like every time you highlight, continue, play one as I did. You know, he's always manly, he's so
That
butch
hyped up.
voice,
Yeah.
and it's just so funny.
It's
Oh,
good.
that sounds good.
Yeah, Broforce, highly recommend it. It might be on your PS5. I don't know. It might be on the store. Give it a go.
No idea.
It's not on the Xbox, though, isn't it?
No, it's only Nintendo and PlayStation have it at the moment.
It's a bit weird, yeah.
That's weird.
But yeah, give it a go, guys. Number 3.
Really?
Number 3.
Big G, what's your number 3, sir?
My number 3 is a cracking of a game.
Oh.
And it's a co-op game as well.
Okay.
It's Overcooked.
Okay, yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So glad.
This was on your favourite online games as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got to play it as an indie game as well.
Had to be done.
I don't like to put it on the same, but I didn't realize that. Thanks for telling me it was an online game. But Overcooked, I had to say it. It's people who don't know. It's basically you play as these chefs, and there's actually a storyline, like an epic sort of
Onion King.
Onion King, and you got to save the kingdom or whatever, and you're on a journey to become like the best chef or something.
Cool. Yeah,
because I don't know, something's taking over the world or something from the future. I can't remember. It's wacky and crazy, but simple game. And you basically go around these levels, and you have to make recipes, and while you're working in these weird and funky sort of like restaurants, making burgers to sushis to pastas, whatnot. So you like to anything to cutting lettuce to frying the burger at yourself, and it makes it more complicated as you go on by the levels and how it's designed. So the kitchen, like the dishwashers could be on the other side, but that'd be on another truck while the truck you're in has got the cooker, and it's splitting. Oh mate, it's wacky.
Around. Yeah,
and this is specifically in my sort of list because it actually got a non-gamer playing it, and that's why our mate Big J, he doesn't like games, I know, but
he was so hooked on that game.
We played this game and we paused it, and I think there's an Instagram post somewhere, I can't remember. I don't know if you posted it.
Yeah, I got a video of it.
Yeah, and we actually planned it, sit down. Okay, so look, even Big J was getting in. So it's okay. I'm going to cut the lettuce and mash while you do the fried burgers. We're going to
I'll show you the video,
and then we're going to make sure we go.
Yeah, please.
Because like I said, as it goes on, each level makes it harder and harder. Because sometimes you can only go one way. Sometimes, like I said, the level splits up. So two of you are on one side. So you'll have to make it.
Yeah, that's what. Or sometimes it moves, doesn't it? And I'm like, that infuriates me so much.
Yes,
there is a way of doing it, because we got to this thing of getting. I think each level you complete, you can either get 1 star, 2 stars, or 3 stars to complete it. Yeah. And we're very completionist, so we have to get 3 stars. So there is ways of doing it, but it's a way you figuring it out. Sometimes you're like, oh my God, Nash, why are you throwing the dish in the bin? Or why are you throwing that in the bin? No, it's like you have to proper coordinate everyone.
It can get tense.
Very tense.
Yeah.
And you could you can even fall out with them. You can. It's that frustrating. But it's such a good fun game. And it's so simple. Anyone can pick it up. Like I said, even if it gets someone like Big J, he is not a gamer. If you get someone like that to play it, it's a damn good game. And I have a cracking time every time I play it. It's amazing.
Nice. Have you played the second one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I prefer. They're both evenly the same, I reckon.
I've not played number 2, so I've only played.
It's not bad.
It's like a follow-up, isn't it? It's
like
the same thing.
Stuff, but I think more
It's called Overcooked 2, so I would assume it's a sequel.
Definitely not a prequel.
Yeah, that's my top.
Number 3. That's your number 3, sir. What's
good choice? Okay, so my number 3 is a game. Again, I'll be surprised if you guys have this on your list. It's a game that came out on the mobile.
Yeah, I've got it.
Shut up. It's not what you think it is. Not Angry Birds. No, it's not even indie. It's a game called Old Man's Journey. And it's also on the Game Pass.
Oh, this is John's game.
This is John's game. It's
how he got his new house and then got wheeled away.
It's the story of how to get the pigeon pass.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, this is John's game. It's it's...
You shall not pass.
You shall not pass.
We have to talk about this.
No, come on, carry on. We're going off topic.
No, people love John.
John's only been on one episode of season 3. Fuck him.
No.
Anyway.
We'll do it when he's here. Okay, right.
Okay. So this game, right? It's out. I played it on the iOS, on the iPhone, right? And it's an indie game that's got rave reviews, so much that they've actually ported it onto the Xbox now, which is great. And it's basically a story about an old man who's he's like, okay, I'm at the stage where I'm at retirement. I'm going to do something, so I'm going to go on a journey. And he literally just goes on a journey where he kind of discovers his past and stuff like that. It sounds moody, but it's not. It's just really fun. And you kind of learn about his story, and you got little puzzles to do, and you go to an island, you hop on a boat, that kind of thing. It's like the life of John. Seriously, it's just
Jesus.
Goes back to
Damn, who wants to play a John's life
Yeah.
game, man?
Exactly.
Fuck that guy.
And this
But
is
it's
number 3?
This is my number 3. Seriously, because I played it and I was like so hooked on this game. It was like an hour and a half.
The house one sounded a lot better than this piece of shit.
Oh, you know why?
Give it a
Because
go.
John
Give
and
it a
him
go.
are like father and son.
Oh, this is true, yeah.
Sorry, this is a homage to John.
Homage.
Homage. To John. So the game plays a little bit like this. You get in the game. You get on
That was a
boat.
good impression.
That's good.
So that's it. That's literally the game.
Yeah. So it's much more than that. It's so nicely done. Like the art is really
I
good.
swear there's no dialogue.
The music
Is
is
there
really
dialogue
good.
in
There's
there?
no dialogue in it,
Yeah.
which is why again it's really really nice because you can just enjoy the atmosphere. But it's first game. Like I'm literally on my phone. I'm literally when you buy a game on your phone, you don't really complete it. It's it's a game you just have, and then after half an hour, it just remains in your ton of all these apps that you've got forever until you get a new phone or whatever. But this game, I sat there and I played. Literally, it's only an hour and a half. That's all it is. But it's just such a nice game. It's a feel good game. It's weird.
Yeah,
like,
it's one of those ones just casual sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I had to think about it, and I had to move it up the list because just the feeling of how good this kind of indie game is. And again, it's like these are people that didn't have that much resources. It's kind of like you appreciate the work that they put in. A group of artists came together.
So hand drawn as well.
And it's kind of partly hand drawn and done on the computer, but yeah, it's all kind of like put together, and yeah, it's fantastic.
I have seen that, but I've never.
Yeah, so definitely give it a
remember
go. Like it's on the Game Pass, and yeah, it's definitely worth playing and stuff. Yeah, I think you like it. Yeah, you got to play. You got to give these games a go, man. Yeah, try and give these games a go. You like it, I'm sure.
Very picky nowadays, man.
Yeah.
Like,
It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just going through
Go home and
Just
play
think of all the achievements you can get in an hour and a half.
Yeah, think of John.
I gave up with the achievements now.
The fuck you did.
Honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
That was your 3, yeah?
That's my number 3.
Yeah. I got it confused. Cuphead was my number 3, so we're going to go straight to your number 2s.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2.
Your number 2 was taken, wasn't it? Because yours was Broforce.
Yes.
Yes, so we'll go back to Gokul.
Hey, it's me again. Hi, guys. All right, my number 2. I'm sure you guys have played this game. If you haven't, please play this game. It's a game called Inside. Have you heard of it?
It's my number 2.
No!
Yep.
And high five, sorry.
I
And
actually
just high
recommended this to Big Gal.
No way!
I sure did.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and we're going to talk about this.
We certainly are, sir.
Please. Okay, did you play Limbo?
See, I didn't play Limbo before this.
All right, okay. But
I
you
knew
have.
that they made Limbo beforehand.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I actually, after playing this game, I went back and played Limbo.
Oh, nice. Yeah, same. I did the same. I
Did you
did
really?
Exactly the same. Yeah, because I wanted to be like, oh my god, like, how good was Limbo?
Is
again?
it?
Have you
Is
played
it?
it, Gal?
Is it like the story is completely different though? Isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, it's not connected
yeah.
or anything like
Not
that. So no.
connected, whatever. But what a crazy...
Another game with no dialogue.
Exactly. Not a single word was spoken.
But
Right?
so much happens.
Yeah.
It's
Super
crazy.
creepy as well.
Yeah.
It's so creepy.
Oh, mate.
It's like
Yeah.
the underwater part.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that baby with the long hair and the wire.
my
Just
God.
that's some scary shit.
Absolutely. It's like...
But the ending is phenomenal. That's why it's my number 2.
Absolutely.
Is that ending? Good fucking god. Well, we'll talk about the ending in a second. But talk about why is it your
Yeah.
number 2?
Okay. Again, like after playing Limbo and thinking this game is amazing, I can't wait to see what this guy does next. His follow-up, his next, game. And this game came out, and it was recommended to me. My brother, he was like, you have to play this game because he's a huge indie guy as well. And he was like, okay, if you like Limbo, please play his follow-up. You just have to do it. And again, it's like you said, and it's just got that weird kind of, kind of vibe, that kind of darkness to it. Almost like, who's the guy that did Nightmare Before Christmas? That
Tim
kind of-
Burton.
Like that kind of feel to it. It's
Creepiness,
weird.
isn't it?
Like
I can't
creepiness
creepy
about it.
vibe. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's so like for Limbo, when you have like the tentacles of the spider, like that kind of thing, when you see it come in and it just catches you, like you just shake. You can't help but just get caught by that. But this one, it's this like a really dark undertone to it. Like I don't know how to even describe it. Like there is this maybe a government organization or something, and they're kind of like
You just don't
I don't
know.
That's the thing, isn't it?
It's like
that
the
think
opening.
know.
You just start off in a forest and you're running. You're just running from
away.
people that are searching for you.
Exactly.
Aren't you running away from
That's it.
dogs? No.
It's them,
Both,
the people with dogs, aren't they?
Yeah.
And as it progresses, you're solving puzzles, but then there's people being mind warped at the same time, and you're kind of blending in with them so you can sneak in and stuff like that. With not one word utterly being said as well,
because it's all explained in the background of the story in the game, isn't it?
But it's amazing. Like Goku was saying about the style of it, it's like everything is practically black, white, or very greyish looking color. That your character wears a red jumper, so you stand out like a motherfucker, big time.
You're so out there.
And it's just how it progresses on and carries on. It's just, it was. So the reason it's my number 2 is because this is the game that got me back into indie games.
Nice.
Because like I said, I knew of Limbo, never played it, whatnot, but this is the game that got me through. I mean, this game's 3 hours long, if that. 3-4 hours long.
Yep.
This is the one where I just went through the whole thing in one
go.
Yep. Because I was hooked.
Absolutely.
It's like, I might have gone on YouTube and done a couple puzzle fuckeries, whatnot, but
100%.
I think it's that water one that did me. I think there's one water puzzle.
How scary.
There's one where you got to hook yourself into the mine thing, and I was like, because you control a zombie or something, don't you?
Yeah.
And that was the one I kind of had to go on YouTube for. But there's so much. Yeah, it's just, where is this going? Like we go to the underwater bit, and you go in a submarine, and you're unveiling every time you're going to a new stage. You're unveiling something new.
That's right.
Then you come across another boy, but he follows him, and it's like, what is his connection with this boy? And then it gets to the ending where he thinks, I'm not going to go into it, guys, because you should play this and just discover it for yourself. But it's how he discovers this thing. And where can we go without spoiling this? It's just
it's so bad.
It's like
What is the
right. What is that? Isn't it?
It's like it's coming, but when it happens, you're like, what is this now? Sort of thing.
Exactly.
But you don't stop playing though, do you? You just keep going, and it's just good God, it's such a cracking game. I look forward to the next one. Whatever he does next, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing. It makes you think how this guy has this imagination. How he came up with something like this. It just beats
Still, nothing's explained though.
That's the thing.
Nothing gets explained. Even the ending happens, and you're like, okay, what's going to go on? But then after that, it just fades to black, and you're like, how do I take that? Exactly. I played this game once, and I can remember everything about it. That's how this game affected me.
100%.
And that's why it has to be.
I think it's the beauty of just think what you want to think of it, like
you create your own
sort
thing
of
about it.
What do you think it is?
That's what it is. Because it doesn't explain. There's no normally in the beginning of a game it's like the year was 2023.
Yeah, none of that.
None of that.
I played it as well. This one didn't recommend me, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah, it came on the Switch. I'm like, you got to play this.
Oh, you played it on the Switch. That must have been so cool.
I think what I love the most is it's just stuff like, I know the story essentially is being told in the background. For me, that's what I thought was clever.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's happening in the background.
Yeah, and you just like, oh wait, what's going? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and it's not like cinematics or nothing like that. It's literally just happening in the backgrounds, and it's just like take this. It's just I don't know how to like explain it, and
just take it.
Just play it, and
you just have to play it to experience it, or just guys, if you just watch the trailer, so you know what you're kind of in for. But it doesn't spoil anything, but it gives you a rough idea of what you're in for. But it's like we said, isn't it? It's mind-boggling, it's terrifying, beautiful at the same time, but still creepy, and then that ending. Good God, that ending!
And again, this goes to like there's similar games like this out there, like side scroller.
Yeah,
but because there's so many, this has forced them to do it different and unique, and so unique that we're talking about it. And it's
exactly.
Not, Ant's only played it once, and he remembers every single bit. Like
absolutely,
that's how impactful. Like,
and graphically, that ending for an indie game
was fantastic.
You have to admit, it's like they put all their budget on that ending. You must. You've got to.
How did they do that?
It forces them to do unique stuff, and it stands out.
It really.
I swear it won a lot of awards as well.
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah,
loads. I think it.
Cracking game.
But I'm surprised because I don't think I played it till like it was a good nearly year old or something. how I stayed away from spoilers or whatever sort of thing. It was like when we would always talk about The Last of Us Part 1. It's like how I managed to avoid spoilers for those years and whatnot. But
yeah. And I think I did the same as you. You played this, then you played Limbo.
Yeah, I played Limbo after this. Yeah.
See, I did Limbo Inside, then Limbo again, just to kind of collate the two games together. To see even if there was a connection between the two, because I always thought
it's definitely the same style, but they're not connected at all.
No, it's two.
And I don't think they need to be. To be honest, they don't need to be. I like how they can be their own thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Such a beautiful game.
Good. Like very,
the music to it, very eerie.
I hate those fucking dogs where you have to get away with them.
Oh my god, you have to run away as fast as you can. You can see them coming.
Yeah, you go around. You're like, oh, crikey, get through.
Yeah. Oh crikey! What are you, Australian?
Did I say crikey?
Oh crikey!
Oh crikey! But for me, like the most scary bit was that water bit. Whatever that thing is.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure what that was at the time.
Yeah.
Because it chases you, isn't it? And you're like, oh shit, it's
But the thing is, though, even though how fast you go or whatever, it's still designed to just slightly get you at the end if it does or doesn't.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think
that's what I'm saying. Because if you keep swimming, regardless, and still get to that point, it's still designed to nearly get you. Even if you know it's not going to get you, it's still designed to give you that sense
fear,
that it could still get you.
That bit, I was just like, oh shit.
Get away from me, get away from me.
It's creepy.
Such a great game.
Oh, that's one of my favourite bits.
Fantastic. Is that on?
That's both our number twos.
Yeah.
And his number two's been taken, so we're going to go to the number ones already.
Oh, nice.
It's number one.
The Big G.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on, BG.
This
He's so going to take mine. Here we go.
I don't think so. I think I know what your number one is now. But I don't think I've taken it. You know where you've got this. It's again, I think what you said is it's very similar, like a roguelike. And there's been loads of those. And this one, I've got to say...
Fuck's sake, here we go. Come on, spit it out.
It's not. It's definitely not. It's definitely
Come on, let's hear it.
No. Build it up.
Come on.
And I think this is probably one of my first purchases. Again, it's a plug. I'm not supporting Nintendo Switch, but very first
it isn't.
Switch indie games, and it's called Hollow Knight.
Oh wow!
I think I spoke about it before.
Fuck's sake.
Is it?
No.
And
I know of Hollow Knight. I've never played it.
Yeah. So it's for me.
That's a good choice, actually.
One of my favourite. I think it's probably my first venture in the roguelike. I don't know. I've said it loads of times. Like I avoid sort of hard games. I always had, and it's only after recently playing Dark Souls, and I've developed this sensation for hard games and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is one like I found out it's a roguelike, and it's like quite difficult. But this one is genius. Like it's basically set in a like in a world where it's like all like insects, all the NPCs, even the characters, bit like all
insecty.
Insecty, and the art design in this is amazing. Like it's all hand drawn. It's beautiful to look at. Even that level design, like the back and stuff, the characters, amazing. Yeah. And it's essentially like a roguelike, and it's just beautiful. And I love it. And this is like what you said.
It is very well designed game. Yeah, very very well.
It's one of those ones for me. Like if I hadn't gone into the genre, like thinking, oh, this is loads of these side crappy hard games, but if I gave it a chance, and it's been so rewarding for me because I think the elements it does that because you got to like swap around his sort of weapons to like suit whatever level you go to. So certain areas are designed differently. It has different enemy types, and you got to switch around. So you need to know. So for me, it was all new. I was like, oh my god, okay. And then you have to learn the enemy patterns. Some of them are ridiculous hard, but the character designs for the boss is wicked because, like, all insects, think about it, it's all based like insects. So the first sort of enemy is like this bulky sort of beetle sort of guy. He's the first sort of boss, so you got to like jump around him. And then my favourite ones were these 3 mantises that you got to take on, and they're just like quick and fast. They come at you like so clever, man. It's like all like based on like insects, and the story's a bit like with these roguelike stories. Some of them are very like weird. Like,
Sorry, what is it when you say roguelike? Is that like a genre?
Yeah, so
is that,
it's a bit like where like. Oh, no, sorry. I would say it's more. This one's more Metrovania. Sorry.
Metroidvania stuff. Okay,
Roguelike is where like you trying to do the whole thing in one go, and if you die, you return. Metrovania is where it goes. So you can go anywhere, but say you're going up a cliff or something.
Yeah.
But you can't go there because you need to unlock a certain thing. So you got to go. So you got to figure out where you go, but there's no map.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So there's no map.
So you got to discover.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like most of Metroid that I have, this one doesn't have a map.
Okay.
So you got to picture everything. So you need to know where you're going. So for me, it was new. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like Dark Souls doesn't have a map. So this one was like, oh shit. So you got to actually like remember stuff, and I loved it. And I think they're making a new one. I don't know if
I was about to say there's number 2, isn't there?
No, there is a DLC called something Silk Song or something like that. I think it's out. I'm not 100%, but I saw a couple recently a Kickstarter program for a similar type of game, same art style. I don't know if the same guys. Something. I'll have a look at it later. Something. Crow something, and it's actually the same sort of art style, but this is more like weapon. So weapon, I say like a spear or sword and shield. But this one is like a guy dressed up in like a crow mask, like a masquerade sort of mask.
Okay, yeah.
And he's got like a sort of like cloak, and he's got weapons like guns, and you're
cool.
like same sort. It's just taking it different. I don't know if the same guys. I need to find out, but exactly same design. At the end, I'll find out, and I'll do a little recommendation for that one.
Nice.
But this is why it's my number 1.
That is so
good choice.
Yeah, it's funny because you want to hear something really funny, Anne. My brother used to work at Gatwick. He comes in, he's like, "Gogo, there's a game I play called Hollow Knight. Guess who recommended it to me? It was Gal." And apparently, you guys had met, in some like evening. They literally crossed paths, and you were literally unloading to my brother how amazing this game is.
They swapped Nintendo Switches.
Like ticket. Yeah. So he's always been telling me you have to play this game. It's difficult, but give it a go and stuff. And,
I think
I'm glad you mentioned it.
Try it. I think it might be a bit expensive, but it's such a good game. I even thought about having the actual characters tattooed on me.
No.
It's actually pretty cool. Like it's like a little guy with a little white.
His missus will never let him. I will have never.
I will have my
Yeah, we'll see, mate.
I am the Senate.
We got to take him to Vegas. Again.
She's the Hollow Knight of that relationship.
Hey, that's Dash.
That's Nash.
It's a good choice.
Yeah,
Very
cheers.
good
I'm
choice.
just trying to find out what that.
Yeah, look up now whilst Goku does his number 1.
Number 1. Okay. And do you know, you might know what it is.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah.
It begins with an F. Yeah.
Right,
You mentioned it before in a previous episode, so it had to be, didn't it?
It had to be. So my number 1 is a game, again, such an amazing indie game that now they're actually incorporating into a movie. They've actually started filming on this. I've been checking up on this.
No way.
Seriously, check it out on IGN. Really, really cool. It's a game called Firewatch.
Yeah, I thought so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
it's a good game.
Oh, it's good. You played it, is it? Gareth, you played it?
I played it a long time ago, though.
Long time, when it came out. Firewatch, did you play that?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
The first person.
I still haven't played that.
Oh, you still haven't played it?
But I know of it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
The first person one.
That's
the
one.
Yeah,
with the walkie-talkie. That's it. It's not, you're not got a gun in your hand or anything like that. It's just basically you in a walkie-talkie.
Did you or Little G mention that in the previous podcast?
I mentioned it for I mentioned it for emotional scenes on the emotional moments.
Yes,
was it emotional moments? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because he has some sort of
season 2, episode 10.
Because his wife, because his wife.
Someone has dementia.
It's the message within the game, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah, that's what you like to. Yeah,
absolutely. I think this time around, the reason why I'd say is the best indie game, apart from it being emotional, is just the whole gameplay of it. You're basically a park ranger, and as crazy as it sounds, it's
scary. I think the game is scary
because
the trailer is misleading. Because the trailer makes it out like you're
being hunted or something.
Yeah,
it's like you're kind of trying to solve a murder at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, this is so. When it got deeper as you played the game, I'm like, this is actually something else. There's
something more to it. Yeah, definitely. And you're around with your walkie-talkie and you're hearing these sounds and you're communicating. And you're ultimately by yourself, but as you're going through the forest and you're doing these little park ranger kind of tasks, as park rangers do, you discover things about not only your life but also what's happening around in the surroundings. And finally you get hold of this voice and there's someone who's communicating with you and you're trying to find this person. I'm going to leave it there because you need to discover it. You've got to find it yourself. But
I'm still surprised you've not picked this up. It's so cheap on Switch.
I know. Yes. I need to.
Yeah,
but fuck, I was going to say. Damn it! Carry on.
Yeah, and how long was the game? Do you remember? Like,
it's not long.
It's not long.
I'd say 4, maybe just under 4 hours.
Yeah, about 4 hours or so. Yeah.
Damn it! I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Well, unless you.
Yeah.
It depends how long you explore for, really, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's the thing. The exploration in it, it's something you have to do. You have to discover the whole forest. I mean, you can play it, maybe just have a playthrough where you finish the story, but then it's just nice.
Yeah, if you go back and if you know where you're going, you probably get it done for 3 hours, if that.
Exactly. It's like we were saying earlier, Gal, about the Metrovania thing, right? This ain't anything like that, but in your head, you're picturing
where everything is.
Exactly. So it comes to a point where you're looking at a certain collection of trees and you know where you are. And that's just from a tree. It's not even a signpost or anything like that.
I think it's genius when games do that because it kind of makes you more immersed in it because then like having a map is lazy. Not lazy, is very helpful in a game, right?
Yeah,
especially if you're cracked for time and you want to complete the game. But it kind of puts you there a little bit. Like when you play a game and you're like, oh look, I know where that is. I need to get and it's actually quite good. They do that, in a way. I can appreciate that element.
Definitely, because even like they've on the making of this game, they've spoken to loads of people who work in that kind of part. They've gone to like Yellowstone National and done all their research or whatever. And park rangers literally say that. They say like, we know just by every tree, we know every tree. We can look at it and we know just exactly where in the map it is because that's all they do. They just walk around and they kind of like, like fixing things and building fences or whatever. But it's that kind of knowledge of the surroundings and, you like this guy is on a personal journey almost, but that's the reason why he's in this park because he's escaping some shit in his life. Again, very moody kind of themes, but for me, it was just the gameplay. That's the reason why it's my number one. A story aside, that's its own thing, but the gameplay was really cool. Like you were walkie-talkie, just going around and doing your thing, and at the end, the story's like, ooh, it has that kind of cliffhanger, and it's kind of, oh, nice. Okay.
Definitely.
So it's not like a thriller then. More drama.
Do you play it for yourself? Because you might see it as that.
Yeah.
Whereas when it gets to the ending, you'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It is really, exactly. So much.
Like I said, the trailer's very misleading.
Yeah.
The trailer come out, like I said, it advertises like it's like a horror / murder mystery sort of thing.
Yes.
Whereas when you play it, it's totally not.
Yeah.
There's way more to it. You can tell there's more to it as soon as you start playing it.
Definitely. Yeah.
So I was like, fucking hell, they just robbed me out of 16 quid. But no, it's still a cracking game.
Yeah.
It's not in my top 5, but it would have gone in the honourable recommendations.
Yes, recommendations. Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm surprised my number one, none of you guys had that. Oh, yeah!
Does yours start with D?
No.
It starts with P.
What was yours? What would you say mine was going to be?
I thought it was going to be Dead Cells.
Nope.
Sorry. I knew. I thought it was that or this because you said it was roguelike.
Right, so...
It's not.
The reason...
It's not.
Right, it's not technically cheating because this game started off as an independent game or indie game and is now so popular that it has now everyone is now pretty much know of it, played it, and it's even been granted a part 2 me free.
I know,
and it's A Plague's Tale.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, you threw me off.
Yes.
You threw me off saying it's Rogue Tale. That's how I was like,
Rogue? What does that even mean? I never even said that.
It's Metrovania or something like that.
No, I never said that.
He did.
I've never said that.
Okay. You threw me off and I thought, it's going to be Dead Cells.
Anyway, Plague's Tale.
Sorry.
Why is it my number one? Right. Here's the reason for it.
Yeah.
I'd heard about this game so much again within the community of Xbox and YouTube channels and the constant things. I think this kind of game came out in 2014 and I didn't play it till I think before lockdown. No, it was way before that, wasn't it? Like 2019, something like that. So it's a good 5 years ago.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it was.
No, I think it's just before lockdown. Seriously.
It might be. Anyway, it's very recent. And once after I played it, I recommended it to you guys to play it. Did you play it in the end?
Yeah, I did.
You did.
Oh, I loved it.
So if anyone who doesn't know what the story is, so basically it's like medieval time France, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's essentially the story about the bond between a brother and a sister.
Yeah.
Essentially, isn't it? At the beginning of the game,
your father gets...
Your mother and father get killed because the raiders raid or bandits raid their castle, the kids escape, and you're essentially on the run.
Yep.
And it's very like one of those sneak 'em up sort of games, isn't
at the
it?
same
You got to get
time-
past them because you can't. You essentially can't kill anyone. You're just a girl, aren't you? With
yeah, like almost like a stealth sort of game.
yeah.
But at the same time, there's a plague.
But then there's a plague. Now this was the twist of the game that I never even knew about, because when I heard about it's a bond between a brother and sister, man, this is pretty wank. There was a mechanic in this game that really, really super intrigued me, and that was the rats in this game.
Oh yeah.
I knew nothing about that, and I was thinking to myself, why is this such a big thing? Why is this getting so much talk? And it's the rat mechanic in this.
Absolutely,
so
man.
when the fourth generation of consoles come out, PS4, Xbox One, came out, they were saying that these machines were so powerful that they could have more than one thing animated in the background. So I remember do you remember when Dead Rising 3 was an exclusive for Xbox? Yeah. And they were saying this thing's so powerful, you can have thousands of zombies there, they'll all move and there won't be any dip in frame rates, anything like that at all, right? Skip that and think of like millions of rats all laid out on a field, floor, whatever. It's just, for an independent game or indie game, it's incredible how they pulled all this stuff off and how these rats move. Essentially, their weakness is light, isn't it?
Yeah, light. Yeah.
It's light. So if you put a torch in front of them, fire, light, whatever, they will move out of the way. They do not like light, full stop. And how this mechanic works in this, very cheaply made game, but still looks so beautiful at the same time.
It does look cheaply, though. Like,
I honestly think it's the most beautiful indie game ever.
By far. Even number 2 looks friggin' phenomenal.
Incredible.
But this game is got so big now. Like it's even just been given a 4K remaster as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Which I would be intrigued to go back and give that a try, actually.
Yeah.
But the story alone is fantastic, and it's just how I won't spoil it because there are some twists and turns in the storyline. It was just one of those games where I thought I was going to give it a go, I was going to pick it up, and I was going to hate it.
I think within the first half an hour, you're in love. Like you're captivated straight away.
Yeah, totally. Once you get past the whole, because the rat thing doesn't actually happen till a good hour or two into the game.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this because this is still stealth and sneak, and like I'm bored of this mechanic now. And then it throws you off and then puts you in this position where you're like, shit, I've got to run away from all these thousands and thousands of rats that are trying to eat me, whatnot. Yeah. It's just that sort of game I just never thought I would like, and I think that's why I have to put it number 1. And I straight off the bat when I finished it, I was like, Gal, you got to play this, or John, you got to play this. And then next minute, it would gone to Game Pass, and then Game Pass had it, so you guys had no choice but to give it a go at least, And
it's just how, like, even like I know you talked about the mechanic, but even like the actual story itself, I really still think they can make like a show out of it, a TV show.
Right.
That's how brilliant it is.
Absolutely.
It's unique. Like I know it's plague, but the way, like, it's almost like the rats are like zombies sort of thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, they are.
They can easily make it a TV show, and I will watch that.
I forgot, because it's not just about there are puzzle solves as well and whatnot,
puzzles,
which I completely forget about that.
Yeah, one of them had to go on YouTube.
Puzzle based, yeah. Like you got the sort of stealth mechanic, but mixed with the puzzles of getting around the plague.
Yeah, I mean, you can upgrade your character at points so she can sort of kill people towards the end of the game, but it's a build-up, isn't it? You can't really do it for a majority of the game, so you have to like try and figure out. You can actually try and get the rats, like take out the lights, and they will attack them, sort of thing.
It's so awesome.
Yeah,
when you have like a candlelight and there's like guards there.
Yeah,
you take that light source and it all just.
And then when they announced number 2 was happening at E3.
Man.
Like it's like when you just
one of the best.
When you just see the alleyway and then that massive wave of rats comes out, like, oh my god, it's Plague Tale 2, it's happening!
Exactly.
Take my money now.
The game has that.
It's like
it's
got so popular now. It's like, do you still class it as an indie game though? Because it has got quite big now.
Yeah, I'm scared that it's gonna sell out. Like, honestly, when you guys recommended this to me, and I played this last year of the lockdown, I was thinking, oh, this is the best Ubisoft game I've ever played. Ubisoft game, and I know it's an independent. You're kidding me. What?
Yeah, it's like how? It plays like one though, doesn't it?
It plays.
Like, it doesn't give a slight hint that it's an indie game.
That's the thing.
It looks like it's got a massive budget from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they did it. It's genius, but it's so good. But again, like, it's going back to what you said. I don't know, man. I think if they stick to what they did in the first one, I think it's going to be a smashing hit.
But even with the recommendations from all these other companies and people and YouTube channels, it's still got very mediocre reviews, like 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, something like that. And I rate it quite higher than that, personally.
8 or 9 range.
Totally,
There's no fault. Like there's not even a point where like it's repetitive or like that.
Nothing,
like even the story and even the graphics and the sound. I think it's a solid. I think you can make a case for a solid 9.
I'm debating about. But I'd be intrigued to play the 4K version and before number 2 comes out.
Is that the next gen upgrade?
Yes. Yeah, next gen.
Yeah, I'm
gen upgrades got it.
Just to see how it goes.
No, it has to be done. Yeah, just because we were saying how beautiful this game is. It's going to get even.
Yeah, and now it's just in normal HD.
Yeah, exactly.
You imagine it in 4K?
Oh, exactly. Wow.
But yeah, that's my number 1.
And I'm so glad you mentioned that. In my head,
I'm very surprised it wasn't. I thought it would be both in both.
It should
yours.
be in my list.
Yeah,
I said that it should be in my list, but I only realised like when I got here, I was like, "Shit!" You know, when I said it.
Yeah, because I said to Big Gal before we started this that 2 of my list were indies that have become quite popular.
Yeah, that's when I was like,
but I kept them in there anyway because I just can't not mention those games.
I'm glad you mentioned it though.
Yeah,
it's pretty much.
Yeah, we all had some good choices. I think we clashed twice,
right?
Cuphead and Broforce. Yeah, that was the only ones. But the rest of it, there was some damn good picks in that as well.
Amazing.
So we're going to go to not honourable mentions, honourable recommendations.
Okay.
So let's do some of those.
Let's do it.
Who wants to go first?
I'll
go first.
Yeah, you go first.
I found out the
name.
You
you said Dead Cells earlier, so we can take that off the list.
Yeah. So the game I was talking about earlier, that's on Kickstarter. It's already got its crowd most of its funding. Okay. It got 100,000 funded in 3 hours.
Ooh. Nice.
So it's called Crow's Sworn. I can't say it. So it's on Kickstarter.
One word.
Yeah, Crow's Sworn.
Okay.
So it's a dark, mysterious, action-packed Metroidvania. So it's just like what I said, Hollow Knight, but with the crow who's got weapons and a scythe. Just check that trailer if you guys go. It's massive. It's mad. Okay. Going back to my recommendation, it's Dead Cells, Goose Game, which you've already had in your list. Cadence of Hyrule. I said that on the soundtrack episode is really good.
Okay.
I think that's a spin-off. The original one is Crypt of the Necromancer. Really good. So it's again an indie game which goes along with the soundtrack. It's really unique. I think you guys need to check it out. I think you'll love it. Soundtrack's amazing.
Listen
to it.
Awesome.
Blue Fire. A bit like Zelda-esque type of game.
That'd be why then.
Yeah. Hero Katana. I think you played that.
Hero Katana. Oh,
Katana Zero.
Fantastic.
Katana Zero.
Game.
I love that game.
Oh,
and
wow.
also a really hard game, Cyber Ninja, which I posted on my Instagram a couple of days ago.
Cyber Ninja. Okay.
Really hard, but it's again 2D sort of Metroidvania.
Wasn't that
pixelated game?
What's it called?
Yeah.
Cyber Ninja.
Is that what it's called? I'm thinking of something else then.
Have you played it?
I played Messenger.
No, not that one.
All right. Well, Messenger's one. There's another recommendation.
Yeah, those are mine.
Amazing. There's one. I'm going to give a list now, and then I'm going to move on to you, and I'm going to find the name of this game, which is on the Game Pass again.
It's doing your nutty now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like crap. I'm trying to find it. Okay, so one of them is a game called. It was actually a PlayStation exclusive, but it's a very good one. It's called Journey.
Yeah.
Amazing, because it's like you trying to get to this mountain, and the mountain's in the distance, and you're edging closer, and you're going through this, this desert, whatever. You're this like lone character.
Yeah, you pulled this up before,
yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful.
It was the cloak, wasn't it?
The cloak, yeah, the red cloak.
Stardew Valley, sorry, I just remember.
Yes, I was going to say that. I saw that on as well. Yeah, no, Stardew Valley.
I got that one as well.
Has to be done. Another game called Gone Home. Again, that's like another game about.
I've heard of that. What is that?
Place in a house, and it's a story about this girl who comes from Paris. Like she's like an exchange student, so she's come home and her family's disappeared. And she's at home and she's going, again, it's weird. It's like she's going through the house, and as you're going through this house, you'll discover. Exactly. It's a bit like that. But this house is more believable in the sense that it's not like extravagant. It's like a standard house like this, but she's trying to discover where her parents have gone, and she's collecting evidence and stuff like that. That's quite good. That's won a few awards, actually. Okay. Subnautica. Apparently that's
that's
really
good.
I need to play that game. Yeah. It's on my list.
There's a new one out now.
Yeah, there's a second one.
Zero Subnautica or something like that.
Yeah. And
what was that one where you were talking about it?
Yes.
You're stranded on the island.
Oh my God, Stranded Deep.
That's it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I was going to mention it earlier, but I wasn't sure if it was in your top 5.
Oh, Damn.
Or if
yes.
it was an indie game.
I totally forgot. It's an indie game.
Yeah.
Totally forgot. It reminds me, so anyone who's watched Castaway with Tom Hanks, basically that.
Yeah.
You know, you're stranded and you actually collect.
Yeah, that looks good. That
goods.
does.
It's really good. If you're really into that kind of game, like you find a coconut and you're so excited. It's like, I can do so much with this coconut. It's that kind of thing. It's amazing. And it's
I could drink it, fuck it.
I can drink it, fuck it. There's a game, I don't know if you guys have played this, genius game in terms of art style. It's called Fez.
Yes, there's another one. Yeah. When the map turns.
The map turns. Oh, it's genius. It's almost like a Tetris kind of thing.
There's meant to be a sequel to it and the guy left.
Yeah, there's a movie about that or something, right?
It's on Netflix, yeah.
Yes, I saw that. It's amazing. Yeah. Fez.
He's a prick, that bloke.
Yeah. He really is. I think, yeah. There's one that's coming to head, but you guys go and I'll come back.
I'll just got one more, which
yeah.
Go on.
it's very again. I got it in a time where I was missing the Advance Wars Void. It's called Into the Breach. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. Did I?
Into the Breach. No.
It's actually hard. It's basically turn based, and it's like based around like.
What happens in those games?
No, it's not like a. It's not like turn. It's not like
My turn.
my turn, your turn.
There we go. That's what I'm waiting for.
It's real time strategy sort of thing.
Okay.
So but it's hard as nails. So
Hard as balls.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna be. Oh yeah, it's gonna be like nice and easy. But oh my god, it's fucking hard. But it's really good. Like it's really that 2D sort of like Advanced Wars-esque sort of graphic style. Is really good. Check it out if you're interested.
Check it out.
Check it out.
I'll go with mine very quickly. Moving Out.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Moving
Nice.
Out. You played that yet?
Yeah.
Yes. Great.
So that's on Game Pass. Carry On is on Game Pass.
I need to try that.
That's a good game
like
if you play it.
that-
You play as an alien parasite, and
Yeah.
it's a very Metroidvania 2D thing,
you
but
gotta
it's
absorb
good to play as the bad guy
for
this
once,
time
yeah.
for once. Little Nightmares.
Yes, I thought you were gonna have that.
No, it's in the top 10, but it's not in there. Xeno Crisis,
Yes,
which is a homage to, if anyone knows video games back in the day, if anyone remembers a game called Smash TV, that game is a true homage to that game.
It's hard though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard as balls, that game, Xeno Crisis.
God.
My Friend Pedro.
Yes, that is
Yes.
a game I was
That
looking
is a
for.
badass game.
my
My
God.
Friend Pedro
That's
is
the one.
amazing. It's left Game Pass, by the way.
Yeah.
Why
Oh, it's
can't I find
gone.
it? It's gone. Yeah.
No. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
super fun. That game. It's
Super
like
fun.
that. You know, I haven't had much fun with bullet time
Yeah.
since Mad Max.
Yeah.
Max Payne.
Max
Sorry,
Payne.
Since Max
I've heard
Payne.
of
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
I've never had.
Oh, it's so,
My
so
Friend
good.
Pedro,
Yes,
and
that's the one I was looking for.
one of them was actually a PS4 exclusive that came to the Xbox, and then Xbox actually bought out the company. When that's Hellblade, Ninja Theory.
Oh wow! Yes, they bought it out.
Hellblade.
Yeah, Hellblade.
Yeah.
Senya's Nightmare.
Oh
whereas-
yeah. Oh yeah,
That was originally a PS4 exclusive, which turned out to be not exclusive in the end because, like I said, it got to Xbox, and then Xbox bought out Ninja Theory, didn't they, in the end?
Yeah.
Xbox just buy everyone, mate.
Yeah,
Buy 'em all
I'd
out.
fucking let them take by me. Sell me. That's all I've got in my recommendations. Dead Cells we mentioned because Dead Cells is fucking awesome. I mean, that game helped me break my Joy-Cons, and then Breath of the Wild finally broke it. So yeah, that's Dead Cells is what started my drifting, and then Breath of the Wild actually
It's
finished
hard, though,
it.
isn't it, that one?
Yeah, it's just I gave up on it in the end, but it is a damn good game. It's one of those ones
I
where
love
it's
the
so hard.
weapons.
It's like sometimes I just can't be. I need to be in the mood for the challenge. But the soundtrack to Dead Cells,
it's amazing.
I friggin' love that game soundtrack.
I love the like each time is different, sort of. You know, like how you said Returnal is like you die, you got to start again. This is exactly the same, but
same thing. Yeah.
each level and each level is randomly done, and it's completely different to what was the first time you did. Nuts.
Amazing. Kind of brings a new element. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Any more?
Wait, but again, this is super thing. You have to do everything without dying, so that's proper.
Yeah, and then you start the random dungeon all over again, isn't
defeat
it?
one
my
boss,
God.
another boss, and you get to the fourth boss. If you die,
gotta
you're
go
doing
from
all
the
that
beginning.
again. But there's no reward. But like, I think you get to keep the power ups or something. You know,
No,
I
you
think
don't.
No?
completely start at zero. It's annoying as hell.
So annoying.
So you have to be super good.
But the thing is, though, when you start playing it, it's addictive.
Yeah, you
But then I
can't-
kind of learned
Because
when it
one-
got to a point where I was getting, like Big G said, I got to a certain boss,
I can't
Yeah.
get past
and
the
it's
third one.
ridiculous, like to stay alive. It's like I just can't be.
Bothered.
No,
Yeah.
I just can't do it anymore.
don't blame
It's
you.
just not for
Yeah.
everyone. If you
Yeah.
If you're not that type of gamer, it's not.
It's not for you, kind of thing. Yeah.
But it's worth a go. Cracking game.
Any more recommendations? If not, we'll finish it there.
Yeah.
That's me done, yeah.
You done. Right, guys. So if you like what you listen to, you guys, follow us on Facebook at the M.T.V.B Podcast, on Instagram at M.T.V.B Podcast, on TikTok at M.T.V.B Podcast 197, or now on Twitter on M.T.V.B Podcast 1. Subscribe to be notified when future episodes are available. In the meantime, this is Ant-Man, Gokul, and Big G signing off.
See you
later, guys.
Bye-bye.